And we're going to do the breathing in for 4 and out for longer with a few rounds just to get our brains into gear. Look, I've got my boy back again.
Back.
Look!
Yay.
Yeah. Yes, it's so good to be back with him. 2 weeks is too long. Yeah. Right. So, as before, I'm not going to count again. So I'm just going to say we're all going to breathe in for our 4 beats and breathe out for our 6 beats to start with. And then we will extend the breath just a little bit more. Okay. So begin whenever you're ready, breathing in for 4 and out for 6 in your own count. We'll probably do maybe 4 rounds of that and then extend it slightly. So I'll go quiet now so you can count. Then see if you can allow your out breath to be slightly longer than before. Give yourself one more round. And then we're going to lie on our backs. So finding a comfortable position on your back, so do feel free to use cushions, pillows, anything that's available to you. And we're going to do something, I'm going to call it a rotating pelvis. So often we do pelvic tilts, which is tilting pubic bone to nose and tilting pubic bone to toes. I want you to imagine this time that we've got like things, cogs, either side of our hips, and we're rotating the pelvis one way and then rotating the pelvis in the other way, like we're spinning those cogs as we do it. And I'm saying it in a different way today instead of pelvic tilts because doing it this way with that funny rotation coggy thing that I'm mentioning, it helps you really tilt the pelvis like you are rotating it instead of tilting the pelvis and you end up going up the mat. So give it a go a few times as though you've got your cogs and you're spinning your pelvis on the cogs to rotate it one way and rotate it the other way. And I've put my hands on my hips so you can see what I'm doing and what I'm imagining. Feel free to do the same. And you can do this stood up too, so it's a good one to do stood up. And what you might find is that you're less likely to press down on your feet. You're more likely to use your tummy muscles to make this movement happen because we're thinking less pelvic tilt and more rotating that pelvis. And then find the point in the middle where you're not rotating your pelvis at all and walk the feet towards each other. And then I want you to open your palms to the sky and shuffle your shoulders away from your ears so your shoulders and your neck are really switched off and relaxed. And keeping the feet flat on the floor, we're going to sway the knees side to side very smoothly and slowly and gently. The feet will want to lift a little bit, and that's absolutely fine. You don't actually need to leave them flat against the floor. But what we're doing is we're not doing that one, that harder one, which is where we're lifting up the foot. So very smoothly and slowly. And the next time I want you to allow the knees to move down towards the floor and relax in that position just for one breath. And then exhale, draw the knees up and bring them down to the other side. Breathing in as you lower them. Exhale to return. Just do it twice more each side. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more each side. And then bring the knees back towards the centre. Make sure your feet are together again. This time we're going to separate the knees. So one knee's going to stay super still as the other knee moves out towards the floor but not touching the floor and coming back. See if you can feel it in your tummies, bringing your knee back and stabilising. So you can imagine you're pressing the pelvis down into the mat in order to stop one knee from compensating and the pelvis from shifting. So what I'll show you is this knee will want to compensate as this knee moves out. It'll want to move out to the side, but you can keep that still using your tummy, bringing it back. As the knee moves out, the pelvis will want to tilt like this, but you're pressing the pelvis into the mat to open and to close. And then because you've been concentrating so hard on what your legs are doing, you may have forgotten that breath is also quite important. So what you could do is you could breathe in as you move the knee out and breathe out as you bring that knee back. And then that just helps you activate the core muscles a little bit more in the right way. Breathing in and breathing out. Nice and slowly. Final one. And then we're going to walk the feet to the edges of our mats. So all of these are super, super good for your hips because we're not loading them. So those of us who get very, very tight, painful hips, having the feet on the floor really, really helps with this. And you'll notice that when you bring the knee in, you're using the inside muscle of your leg very slightly. As you move the leg out, you're using the outside of the leg. Okay, so you're using some hip stabilizing muscles, the abductors and the adductors. So abductors are the outside of the leg, adductors are the inside muscle. So gently dipping towards the centre, but not all the way. And then returning. And to the other side. And all of these moves are, in my head, I imagine it like we're putting WD-40 in our hips. So we're getting those joints, encouraging the synovial fluid. So we're making them nice and juicy, which is always great for releasing inflammation. Okay, coming back towards the middle, caterpillar your feet, so you're walking the legs away from you. And we're going to lengthen the legs, so at one point you'll just need to slide them out. There we go. And then we're going to Flex the feet and move the feet out and then in. So now you're moving the movement down your legs, so the ankles and the knees will be getting some rotation, but most of all, you'll be getting lots of rotation in your hips. That's it. So internal as the toes come together, and external as they open. And feel how your buttocks want to support you with this as well. So you may notice as you externally rotate, your buttocks are wanting to activate. That's it. Okay, then we're gonna relax the feet. Don't forget, you can always put something underneath your knees if having them straight like this is uncomfortable. It's absolutely fine to do. I'd like you to make room for your hands underneath your buttocks. That's it. Don't slide them in too far though, otherwise they'll get a bit of squash. So we're going to squeeze the buttocks like we're imagining our buttocks are squeezing our hands. So squeeze both buttocks and then gently release as though you are just melting down over your hands again. So squeezing them tight and then gently melting back down. Sometimes it's really hard to relax those buttocks after you have squeezed them really tight. Yeah. And that's because our bodies are clever, thinking that we want them to hold that muscle, but just keep letting them go. Imagine that melting sensation and they will eventually let go. So squeezing and gently melting back down. Very slowly. Squeeze. So this time when you squeeze, see if you can get a little bit more squeeze out of it. And then melt back down again. Melt over your hands. Melt even further. See if there's any more melting that you can do over those hands. And then one more time, squeezy, squeezy. And then gently melt. See if you can melt a little bit further. And I've got a hard one for you now. We're going to squeeze one buttock. So squeeze one of your hands with one bum cheek. And then gently allow that one to melt. And then squeeze the other hand with the other bum cheek. And let that melt. Do remember that not everybody is going to isolate the movement between one buttock to the other. You may find you're squeezing both at the same time. That's really normal. But the reason why we've got our hands here is we're trying to create that connection so that in time you'll be able to get that isolation. So you may be wondering why on earth I'm getting you to squeeze your buttocks. Is anyone wondering that, or are you just enjoying the sensation? No, you're just going with it. Just going with it. I wonder what I could do. That was so funny. Okay, so we are squeezing the buttocks because the buttocks are really fabulous hip stabilizers. If you've got strong buttocks, generally they can take the load off your hips, but they can also take the load off your lower back. So we're doing this because we're using our body weight, because we're lying on our buttocks, aren't we, to strengthen buttocks. Okay, it's like we're using our body as a weight, literally, and that's what Pilates is mainly about. Okay, now, so that's the ones that we've been doing are the slower holds. So those are the slow twitch muscle fibers, which are the ones for stability. The other one is the fast twitch, which is the one where you kind of give a little wiggle, like squeeze one at a time and have a wiggle. And buttocks, I'm trying to think when we would use fast twitch for buttocks. It would be like if you're going to bend over quickly and you need your buttocks to clench to bring yourself back up again. Or if someone's going to kick you in the bum. Okay, so hopefully that would never happen to you. But that fast twitch one is a squeezing one at a time, nice and fast. And it's quite warming. Can you feel everything, all the muscles feeling quite nice and warm? Okay. And then relax. Now your hands have been in an awkward position for a while, so let's rest them, bring them onto your tummies instead, or you might want to get some airflow back to them as well. Okay. Now we are going to bend both knees, and you might need to reset your back because often when you bend both knees, you're kind of scrunching up your back. So reset the back a little bit. That's it. And then we're going to bring the feet together and the legs together so they're central to your body. And lengthen one leg, trying to keep the knees even with each other so they're the same height. Now using your tummy muscles, you're going to move that leg away from you, pressing the pelvis down into the mat. Circle it down and back to that knee. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to go down from the knee, circle it out and back towards the other knee. Now this is quite intense, so do rest when you need to. Can anybody feel their buttocks activating to support their leg? It's so weird, isn't it? I mean, for me, it blows my mind because we're not actually on our buttocks, but your buttocks and the muscles all the way around your thighs are now working at the same time as your tummy stabilizing. So keep swapping directions each time. Try not to be worried if you're getting a weird clunk. That's called snapping band syndrome and it's not a dangerous thing to happen. And then when you're ready, bring the knee in and let it rest. That's it, taking a moment. That's it. So this stretches out your buttocks. So taking some breaths. Then we're going to put that foot down on the floor and swap sides. So we're lengthening the leg and we're going to move down first of all, circling out, stabilizing at the same time and coming back to the knee. And then circling out away from the knee, calming down and back. So swapping direction each time you do it. And I know you're using your tummy muscles quite a lot here, but do make sure you're breathing at the same time. Okay, one more each side. Oof. When you're ready, bring that leg in. Have a moment to rest. Okay, lots of buttock action. So let's bring the knees in towards the chest and circle them away from each other. This will just help ease the inner and outer thighs. Remember, you can grab hold of leggings. That's it, like this. Or you could kind of tuck your hands in the crease behind your knees. It's just nice to hold the legs as you're doing these circles because then your hip flexors aren't working too hard. Final direction that way. And then we're going to sit up for a minute. So I've said it quite early on, so you can take your time sitting up, especially if you are having POTS reactions at the moment. So you're gently pushing yourself up. And we're going to go into the best position in the world because it's so attractive. That's it, get those legs open. Well done. And we're going to lower the knees towards one direction, but lift the arm to reach. So can you feel how lovely that is in opening up your hips? That's it. Well done. So gentle like this. I'll show you an adaptation for this one as well. So for those of you who are leaning against something, you can do this version here with a gentle sway. That's it. For those of you whose wrists really don't like being pressed against like this, you can do it like this. So you could swap and move and swap. Okay. So you choose what's going to work for you. There is the option, some of you might like it, if you want to try coming up onto the knee, if your knee can tolerate it. So that's an option. So we're going a layer up for those of you who want to give it a go. Whew. That's it. Okay, final one of whichever version you are doing. And then we're going to come back and I'd like you to put something in front of you, an object. It could be anything, it could be a brick, a ball, it could be anything that you like. So I'm being a bit ambitious doing something quite high. And if you can tolerate leaning back against your hands, please feel free, but just make sure you're not doing this. Keep yourself nice and tall as you do it. You can do this upright instead as well. So we're going to open the legs wide enough. And we really hated this 2 weeks ago, didn't we? You know what we're going to do. It's really hard. Exactly. So lifting the leg up and over. And then up and over. That's it. Michelle, are you loving me right now? No. Oh, Amy's got a cat. Such a good idea. So can you feel how effective this is at working the hip flexors here? Yeah, can you all feel it? But just remember that nice sit-up position. Can you feel it activating the quads as well? I mean, obviously, hip flexors are quads too. So your quads make your hip flex. That's it. Does anyone find this easy? No? Laura's a bit like, yeah, maybe. You don't look like you're struggling at all, Laura.
On one side it's tight, but like going that way is fine.
Ah, interesting. Marie, you're going quite fast as well. Do you find it easy?
My right side is tighter.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting that we're able to identify tight sides as well as we're doing this? Okay, we need to come off our hands, don't we? So let's bring ourselves up. If it's available to you, let's cross our legs. Well done. If it's not, V-shaped spine. Okay, so hands. Do zombie hands for a little bit so they can bend in the opposite direction. Okay. This is once again where you don't want people to walk into the room. I know. And then figure of eight. It's like, what is Leanne doing? There we go. It's a nice gentle figure of eight. See if you can go the other way in figure of eight. Very nice. Veronica's conducting an orchestra. Right, side lying. So we're going to lie on our sides and bend the knees in front of us. And if you can actually bring the knees in front, almost like you're creating a right angle here, that would be amazing. That's it. And just look after your shoulder however you want it. So some people do prefer having their arm in front and something higher underneath. Can you see how I'm really hyperextending my lower shoulder? Can you see how it's really curved forward? So in an ideal world, I'd be drawing it back like that. I used to get told off a lot for that in Pilates, which is why I do it this way instead. Okay. Right, so this top leg, we're going to activate these abductor muscles. So we're going to lengthen the top leg. And then I find this quite hard because our limb length is longer here, which means that the leg is going to be heavier. So we're really using our leg weight now as we lift from there and lower back down. So in effect, your leg is kind of in front of your body and you're lifting and lowering from there. Have a feel of that outside thigh as you do this. Have a feel of those muscles activating. Now, when you do this, there's a muscle just here. Okay, so we've got our glute maximus, the nice big fleshy one. And then we've got a muscle just here, glute medius, that I talk about quite a lot. We're activating that as well right now. So have a feel of those muscles activating. And I know it must seem like a weird thing to do that we're touching up our bums like this, especially if Toby's still in the room. But it's really good. No, he's gone, is he? I knew he'd get bored. Yeah. So that muscle there is a really good hip stabilizer, okay? So what that one does is it takes off the pressure a little bit from the IT band. So it means you're more supported here instead of these muscles trying to work so hard. Now this leg is now going to glide backwards. Now you're activating the glute maximus as well as you glide back. If you glide back and then lift, you're getting the glute maximus and minimus all at the same time. So, but slowly does it. Whew. It's quite intense. Madam, please rest when you need to. I am working you hard. That's it. Now this is the final killer. Are you ready? Circles. Woo-hoo. So nice big circles. Try not to let your top hip sink backwards. Try and keep it stacked on top of the bottom one. And also listen to your bodies. If you need to rest, you're not cheating by taking a break. Let's go the other way as well. Well done, one more. Woo. Let's bring the leg in front. Give it some love. That's it. So rubbing, patting, whatever feels good to you, just to get the blood flow going. Right, this bottom leg is gonna lower and lengthen. Well done. And I'd like you to flex the foot and lift the inside thigh to lift the rest of your leg and return. So it's like the inner thigh is drawing that leg up and returning. And in general, that kind of means you don't do this when you're trying to lift, or this. You're keeping that leg long, getting that inner thigh to work. I don't suppose anyone can remember what the inner thigh muscle's called, can you? No, it's the opposite to this one. So I remember it by abductor is like you're abducting, so it's moving away from your legs, so you're abducting the leg away from your body. Adductor, or some people call it the adductor. That's the inner thigh. That's it. So pushing up and drawing back down. Pushing up and drawing back down, and take a break. Well done. Are you all okay?
Yeah, it's hard, but okay.
It is.
Yeah.
It's all about the hips right now. Right, are we ready to twizzle? Let's do it. So, knees in front of hips. And we're going to lengthen the top leg and gently lift and lower it from there, still keeping the hips stacked. So breathing here. And you may like to have a feel of the muscles like we did on the other side. Feel them activating. Well done. Have a feel of the glute medius as well, which is just behind your hip towards the glute maximus. That's it. Well done, one more. And then we're going to hover, and I know this is torturous, we're going to draw that leg back to activate the glute maximus as well, and lift and lower from there.
I'm finding this one harder. This
Would you
side.
say that again? We can't pick your voice up.
Oh, my knees is more uncomfortable on this side. I can't seem to get in line to.
Yeah, can you bend your knee a little bit? It might help.
Yeah, I think maybe I was trying to keep it too straight.
So what happens if you're hyperextending like this, you're using
Mm.
lots of muscles in the front of your kneecap, but also your kneecap can slide a bit.
Yeah, that's what I could feel.
It's not
That
nice.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
well done for saying as well, because other people might have been wondering exactly the same thing.
Mm.
Are you ready for some torture? Let's do
Yeah.
This is body.
it. At least I ask you. So, whew.
You do feel it.
Yes. It is torturous, isn't it, Carol?
It is, but it's good. Do you know what I mean? It's like you push through it because you know it's doing you good.
Yeah, as long as you're not pushing too hard, because you know, oh, we like to look after ourselves too. Well done, everybody. That's it. And then that bottom leg, lengthen, flex, and gently lift that thigh up and lower it back down.
That's the bit I find really hard. I can't seem to get much movement there.
Yeah, so there could be all sorts of issues there that are making that happen. One is that you might be really tight in your outside hip on the other side, which means that you can't get that lift because it's holding on, or just that we haven't worked your inner thighs enough. And that's quite common. There's lots of people who work their thighs but forget the inner thighs, so
Yeah.
try and incorporate them, but it's hard. So to do that, you could start using like a ball between your legs and squeezing, just whenever
Oh,
you think about it.
yeah, I used Pilates. But
Yeah. Or if you've got a magic circle, that's another torture device. When you're ready, relax. I don't know if I've got one at the moment, no.
crocheting then when you said magic circle, I was like, what's crocheting got to do with it?
No, magic circle. I've used them in classes before, but I must have put it away because I hate it so much. Okay, now we're going to roll back over onto our backs. So that was lots and lots of strengthening of hips and thighs and buttocks. And what we want to do is also let them relax as well. So if you could hug one knee in towards your chest and lengthen the other leg away, and take a couple of breaths like this. That's it. So breathing deeply. And then stay there if you have had a hip replacement in the leg that you're hugging. If you've not had a hip replacement, put your opposite hand on the outside of the knee and then draw the knee across your body. And we're going to sway in and out of this. So this is a stretch. We're stretching those muscles that we worked here. The other leg needs to be lengthened. That's it, got it. So gentle drawing across and returning. If you have not got EDS or hypermobility, you can hold this position for longer if you want to and stay in this position like this. But if you're hypermobile, we're just encouraging the flexibility and mobility, but we're trying not to make it too loose. And then return that leg back down towards the floor, but keep it in line, keep the foot in line with the other knee as you open up the knee. So you've opened up the pelvis and the front of your hip here, so we can stretch all that out here, just here as you breathe. If your pelvis wants to tilt towards that side, that's fine, because it means your leg will be more supported. If you find you've just flopped out and there's no support there, feel free to put something there like a cushion or a ball or a block, anything that you've got available. So now we're going to hug the other knee in towards our chest. So hug the knee in and lengthen the other leg. That's it. And breathe. Nice deep breaths. Just taking note whether you're keeping your shoulders in their sockets as well. So you might need to just have a little shuffle to reset. And then if you've had a hip replacement in this side, stay exactly where you are. If you have not, swap your hand over so it's the opposite hand, draw it across the body and come out again. So it's nice and smooth and gentle. Well done, final little one. And then return back to the centre, allow the foot to lower down and open up the knee. And if you want to put something there to support it, feel free. And breathe. That's it. Nice use of balls, Vixie. There we go. And then when you're ready, we're going to very gently bend the knees. Open the knees up a little bit wider and sway the knees side to side, just smoothly and gently. So this one, you might feel a little bit in the front of your hips and your thighs as you do it, but don't kind of force it. So it's not necessary to feel anything, you're just juicing up those hips again. And then we're bringing our legs back and it's time to relax. Woohoo! So if you want to stay for relaxation, please feel free and please get yourself comfortable. Otherwise, if you need to dash off, it's been lovely to see you. Thank you for being with us again. That's it. See you soon. So relaxation. We're going to start by observing our bodies that are resting on the mat or the bed. And paying attention to how you're feeling both physically and emotionally. And allow yourself to tune into your mind and your body. And without judgment, notice how centered and grounded you are in this present moment. And if you haven't already, softly allow your eyes to close and move your mind inward. And take a few deep, calming breaths. Imagining you're breathing away any stress, any pain, any tension, anything that might be bothering you in this moment that doesn't serve you. Imagine breathing it away. And imagine filling the gaps you create with happy, lifted, energizing thoughts. Feelings of calm, allowing your body to replenish itself, moving out anything that doesn't serve you, and moving in things that make you feel really good. And allow your mind to acknowledge your accomplishment for bringing you here today. Bank holidays are the perfect excuse not to do anything, and yet you chose to be here with each other, nurturing your body and nurturing your mind. And then begin to visualize a glow of positive golden light surrounding you. And this is your sense of accomplishment. So imagine this as like pride and gratefulness and just doing so well. And then allow the sense of accomplishment coming from inside as well. So allowing that to radiate outwards and actually physically feel that glow growing. Moving into the positive energy surrounding you. So you become this gorgeous, golden, positive, glowing ball of happiness and energy. And allow it to lift your spirit. And allow it to help you really feel alive in your body. And then gently in your own time, you're going to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And you could gently open your eyes and take a look around, maybe moving your neck side to side. And flexing and pointing your feet and figure of 8 with your wrists. And as you move on with the rest of your day, keep this energy inside you, but also allow it to radiate outwards too, so that other people are impacted by how amazing you absolutely are. As we then bring our hands up towards our heads or above our heads, pressing them together and pushing them down past our chest towards our heart, and bringing gratitude to our bodies and our minds for getting ourselves to this class and getting our hips activating so beautifully. Well done, everybody. Well done.